Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. I hope you're well. I'm also fine. And I'm delighted once again to come to you. You could be driving, you could be in your table room, you could be doing something. I just want to take a few minutes. We give each other insights. We say that we shall be meeting here every Wednesday. And I truly thank you for tuning in, for just listening, so that we may grow together. And today I want us to talk about, are you feeling stuck? I'll ask you a question. Are you feeling stuck? And I know if I ask you this way, you may be asking yourself, in this life, I have been stuck in one way or the other. In fact, feeling stuck is different for different people. It comes in different ways. You could be feeling stuck in your studies. You could be feeling stuck in a project that you're undertaking. Maybe you're constructing a house and, all the resources are gone and you're wondering, what next? Where can I get a loan? Where can I get, these 2 bags of cement or 5 lorries or, depending on the project, how big it is or how small it is. In one way or the other, we all get stuck in this life. And it caught me wondering, what do you do after you get stuck? And most of us have been in situations where you don't know whether to go ahead, you don't know whether to go, which side to go. You turn left, probably there's no solution. You turn right, there's no solution. And it is left to you wondering, what next? What can I do to get out of this problem? And I imagine like the children of Israel when they were crossing the Red Sea. Behind them, there were the enemies. Ahead of them, there's a big sea, And here is Moses. And here are the people, Pharaoh is chasing them. And they knew they had to do something. So God gives an instruction to Moses to just use a small rod in his hands. And they were able to, he was able to put it on water and a way was created. The same case in our lives. In one way or the other, we get stuck. We have had situations that are facing us and you're wondering, okay, our children are almost closing school. Where shall the school fees come from? My business needs this amount of capital for me to move on, Maybe you're organizing something and you're wondering, what next after this? I would just want to encourage us that God has given us problem-solving skills that we can use. And I wanted us to share and encourage each other and probably give you an insight of what you can do next. And the first thing is, first, you appreciate that you have a need. You look at your problem critically. You admit that you're in that situation, and then now look for a solution. Don't just assume that you're not facing what the circumstance that you have at hand. Appreciate that I have a need and I need to move on. And then, once you appreciate, look at what are the other alternatives I have towards solving this problem. Because you cannot just stay there. In any case, you'll be killed by your enemies. In any case, they will get you. When you're looking for these alternatives, appreciate the greater being that is in you. Appreciate the work of God that is in you. That God is able to turn any situation and make it and resolve it to the, to the ultimate, to the end. That he who promised you is faithful. Appreciate that you didn't just start alone. Appreciate that God cannot give you something you're not able to handle. You are able. You have the resources within you. You have that capability. You have the energy. You have the drive. I'm sure probably when you are drawing that idea down, you had that ability to know that, it is in your mind that whatever I was seeing, I'm able to accomplish it. And most of the time when you're looking for alternatives, there are people who call it plan B, plan 2, plan C and all that. So look at what is the possible alternative. If you're looking forward to get a degree, you can just start by that certificate. Then you go to the diploma. Then you go to the ultimate, which is the degree certificate. And there's something in counseling that is called delayed gratification. That is when you forfeit the present, a pleasure that you have for the moment, so that you can have it later. You get? You have probably a need to build a house. And right now, you're also thinking, I should buy a car. You may consider let me buy the car later and for now concentrate on doing the house, right? And the other example that I was giving, like for a degree certificate, you forfeit something for the now so that you can have that greater gain later, that pleasure later, and I'm sure in an African setup, we have been taught some of these things in one way or the other as we were being brought up, even sacrificing for the now because you know what is ahead, sacrificing in a way that you can forfeit even, sio nyama kila siku, doing it later so that because you know what you want in your future. So you can have such techniques like delayed gratification. You're the one who knows where do I need my children to be in future. And you delay some of these small things, some of these pleasures. If you're eating lunch, every other day, probably in the hotel, start packing that lunch and and carry some food in the office and use that 200 shillings probably or 500 shillings or the 1,000 to do some of these small projects that you want to do. And I'm imagining if we have that mindset of looking ahead. I usually imagine even Jesus himself, if he would have given up on the cross, I don't think he would have gotten salvation that we have today. But he delayed, that he saw the greater glory. He saw the greater gain that was to come. That is salvation for everyone. And the problem and the challenge that we have is that we worry too much what people will say. We worry too much. What will my friends say? If I downsize. We have faced different situations and circumstances in this life. We saw during the pandemic, we had to downsize. We had probably, if you're living in an apartment that you're paying probably 100,000, coming to an estate that you're paying probably about 40,000, it is the same life. Don't worry too much about what people will say, what people will think about you, selling your car so that you can finish your house. That is delayed gratification, as in sacrificing for the moment so that you can have whatever you need right now, And with some of these things, you'll be able to know that you're not getting stuck so much, You're not living a life that is led by other people's opinion. In any case, it is for your joy. But then somehow I have learned that people don't even care about, those core details that probably bother you, that what will people say when I pick my children from a boarding school and bring them to a public school. Adjust yourself, downsize yourself to what you can afford for the now. And later you will enjoy that later. You'll enjoy what you need later. So my dear brothers, my dear sisters, use delayed gratification for your own small projects. Use a method that will work for you. Because it's all about you, by the way. It's not so much about, don't care so much about what people say, what will people think, It is sometimes that fantasizing that makes you not move on. You're not able to tell, to adjust your real world and the fantasy that you have put on yourself. Let's learn to downsize and to adjust our projects, to adjust our lives according to what fits us all. And when you do all this, we know that we have a God who is able to solve any situations. The one who turned, even water into wine, into a situation. There was a current problem at that wedding of Cana. But Jesus told the mother, just a small miracle. The mother just told the disciples, whatever he tells you to do, do it. Maybe you just need to do something. Use that little that God has given you. Moses used that small rod. When you look at this woman who had so many debts, the servant Elisha, alimwambia, just bring the small oil that you have and the empty jar. I'm sure in each and every one of us, there's just something small left. Even when you're feeling like your business is totally down, there's just something small left that you can use to solve the problem that you have. Because after we release is when the greater gain also comes. When we learn to downsize to where we are at in this life, and don't allow yourself to chase after things, to chase after life, don't be in a hurry. Everyone has a sequence. Sometimes you could be so much ahead, and maybe God wanted you to learn something as you progress. So use delayed gratification if it works for you. And after the end of it all, you'll not be stressed so much, and you'll also not feel so stuck, and you'll be able to progress and ultimately achieve your goal. So may the Lord bless you. May the Lord take care of your projects this year. And I hope that we have helped each other in unstucking ourselves in the situations that we are in this life. The Lord bless you. Thank you.